In the near future, science and technology has advanced so much that human cloning has been perfected. The ethics of it, however, is still put into question. The story begins with a woman rising from a pool of black tar. Dr. Victoria Harris, a geneticist, bathes her and dresses her down while she's still in a trance. Later, the woman, named Ashley, awakens from her sleep in an unfamiliar bedroom. Disoriented, she questions the young man sitting by her bed, Spencer, Dr. Victoria's son. Spencer lends Amy his jacket, turns on the music, and pours her a glass of wine, as if trying to trigger a memory they once shared. Despite this, Ashley couldn't remember a thing. Then, in a sudden act of violence, Spencer forcefully shoves Ashley against the wall, causing her to fall to the ground. He then tightly grasps her neck and violently throws her onto the floor multiple times, ultimately leading to her demise. Spencer then drags Ashley's dead body outside and dumps it in a garbage processor beside their house. Dr. Victoria arrives home. She hands Spencer a notebook and asks him if it felt any different. Spencer, who seems disappointed, says it didn't, then promptly walks out. In her personal lab, Dr. Victoria studies her scribbled notes and formulas. While reading Spencer's journal detailing his recent encounter with Ashley, she gets a call from a man named Parker. Through a virtual reality conversation, Parker tries to convince Victoria to get her son clinical help. As an overprotective mother, however, Victoria worries they'll take him away. Parker suggests that the only way to understand her son's condition is to observe him in the act through a live feed. Then, from the same pool of black tar, another woman rises, Ashley's clone. Dr. Victoria performs the same rituals by bathing her, dressing her down, and putting on her makeup. Spencer meets the new Ashley in his bedroom again, but this time he has grown more impatient. He plays their song like before, but Ashley's memory remains hazy. Frustrated, Spencer eliminates her again while his mother watches. In a flashback, Spencer wanders the desert. From afar, Spencer notices a woman left alone by her boyfriend on the roadside. He approaches, offering assistance, and when she feels cold, he kindly lends her his jacket. This woman is revealed to be Ashley, marking the very first encounter between them. In the present day, it is revealed that Dr. Victoria is attempting to cure her son of his murderous tendencies by using clones to satisfy his needs to kill, preventing him from murdering real people. But in her fourth attempt at creating a clone of Ashley's, Spencer remains unsatisfied because they feel artificial to him. To make the next one seem more real, Dr. Victoria decides to spend more time with the clone, giving it attention and compassion. We also learn that in her desperation to rehabilitate her son, Dr. Victoria has been overlooking her responsibilities at her own company, Harris Genetics. Meanwhile, Spencer draws a striking illustration. Despite his sociopathic behavior and violent inclinations, he is a gifted artist. His mom enters his room and tells him about her plan for the next clone, to which Spencer agrees to be patient. Spencer continues to draw outside. This time, it's a morbid portrait of Ashley. While going for a walk, Spencer notices a girl, Marissa, struggling to move boxes out of her car. He offers her help, and slowly, they begin to form a connection and a liking toward one another. Later that night, Marissa visits Spencer's house, wherein Dr. Victoria answers the door. Marissa wanted to express her gratitude to Spencer for helping her move in. When she leaves, Victoria gets upset with her son for making contact with another person. Dr. Victoria consults with Parker again. She tells him that she struggled to make the clone feel real, but then figured out that Ashley already has a backstory. Her plan is to show Ashley selected pieces of her previous life, a curated history, to give her more humanity. The next day, Spencer visits Marissa and gives her a drawing he made of her. Marissa is impressed by his artistic skills, and from then on, she begins to develop feelings for him. When Spencer gets home, Victoria expresses her dismay again that he went to see Marissa. In an effort to distract him, Dr. Victoria offers to introduce him to the new Ashley. In another flashback, Spencer arrives home with the original Ashley. They drink wine and put on Ashley's favorite song while they talk. Dr. Victoria brings Ashley to Spencer's room. This version of Ashley seems more human. She initiates conversations with Spencer, drinks wine with him, and happily listens to their song while she goes through his sketchbook. However, Ashley finds disturbing drawings of her, which terrifies and agitates her. Spencer later kills her as his mother listens outside the door. While dumping her body, Spencer seems different. He appears more satisfied. He tells his mother about this, which means the experiment worked. Back in the night Spencer and Ashley first met, she is seen admiring his drawings. While dancing to the music, Ashley seduces Spencer, but before anything happens, she moves away and teases him. Spencer snaps and grabs Ashley by the neck. Ashley attempts to run away, but Spencer drags her back into the room as her nails dig into the wooden floor. Spencer later kills her, the same way he has been killing her clones in the present day. After the death of the latest one, Dr. Victoria creates another clone. She reminds her son to be patient and give her time to work on making Ashley seem more human. This way, he can go longer before feeling his violent urges again. While spending time outside the house with Ashley, Dr. Victoria shows her a video of Spencer when he was just a little boy. He was playing with his dog, Max. Victoria later takes Ashley to Max's grave, telling her how he died after an accident. Next to Max's grave is another, Lucky's, whose death Victoria refuses to elaborate on. Back to that fateful night, just after the original Ashley was murdered, Dr. Victoria arrives home and notices 2 glasses of wine on the table. She immediately asks Spencer who he's with. Spencer shows her Ashley's dead body in his room. Dr. Victoria is horrified, but as a protective mother, she helps her son dispose of the body. While on a date in an art exhibit, Spencer reveals to Marissa that he was homeschooled almost all his life. In 6th grade, he was expelled for pushing a girl off the top of the jungle gym, which resulted to her tragic death. Marissa expresses her sympathy, saying that he was just a kid. Marissa then shows Spencer another art piece, the drawing he gave her. Spencer becomes agitated, saying he did not want his art displayed without his consent, but Marissa calms him down after explaining it was meant to be a surprise. Marissa drops Spencer home. Just as the two begin to grow closer to one another, Marissa sees Ashley through her bedroom window and becomes suspicious. Dr. Victoria confronts Spencer, concerned about his growing fondness for Marissa. Meanwhile, Ashley sees Spencer for the first time and eavesdrops during their conversation. Later that night, Ashley wakes up from a dream where she is strangled and dragged across the floor, a memory from her past lives. She tells Victoria about this in the morning. Victoria calls Parker again for advice. She explains to him her concerns about the new clone, that the latest version of Ashley is remembering her previous incarnations and is more than just a copy. Later, it is revealed that Parker is not just a mere colleague, but is actually Spencer's absent father. While Dr. Victoria is busy working in her lab, Ashley sneaks into Spencer's room. When she lifts up his rug, she sees scratch marks on the wooden floor that matches her hands. Then she steals Spencer's sketchbook and quickly returns to her room, just in time before Victoria checks in on her. Slowly, Ashley discovers things aren't what they seem. Later, Spencer tells his mom that he wants to live a normal life after spending time with Marissa. Victoria warns him that his condition will not just go away. The detachment, the animal cruelty, which suggests that he killed his 2 dogs, Max and Lucky, when he was a kid, and the playground where he killed a classmate. Victoria is worried he might also kill her. The next day, Marissa decides to investigate Spencer's house. She finds Victoria and Ashley tending to the garden outside and snaps a picture of them, catching their attention. Luckily, she manages to leave the property before getting caught. While in her lab, Victoria gets a call from a colleague, Taylor, who tells her that the board in Harris Genetics are growing impatient. Having no choice, Victoria leaves for the office, but not before locking Ashley in her room. Marissa looks up Ashley using facial recognition and learns she is a wanted girl on the news. Concerned about Spencer's safety, Marissa texts him about her. Spencer later forwards the message to his mom, which forces her to leave Harris Genetics in a hurry. Marissa visits Spencer to talk about Ashley. However, Spencer gets upset with her for prying. Meanwhile, Ashley goes over Spencer's sketchbook and finds disturbing drawings of her face. She grows scared, fearing for her life. She looks around the room for a way to escape until she finds a hammer and uses it to break the doorknob. Spencer has grown violent and tries to kill Marissa, but she is able to defend herself for a time, giving her the opportunity to call 911. But before she can speak to them, Spencer stabs her with a shard of glass, killing her instantly. Ashley sees this after successfully breaking her door open. She runs to a nearby room to hide just before Victoria gets home. Ashley finds herself in Dr. Victoria's lab. There, she slowly learns about her old life. Photos of her with friends, voicemails she received after going missing, and a video recording of a clone rising from a black tar resembling her face. Victoria sees Marissa's body. She has failed once again to prevent another death caused by Spencer. Again, Victoria's overprotectiveness of her son takes over, and she decides to help him get rid of the body and find Ashley before the police arrive due to the 911 call. In the lab, Ashley threatens Victoria with a hammer. Now that she has seen everything, Ashley begins questioning her entire existence. Victoria tries to calm her down, but Ashley reveals that she remembers every death she experienced at the hands of Spencer. Ashley attacks Victoria, but misses. She hits the glass monitor instead, which Spencer hears while dragging Marissa's lifeless body, prompting him to rush back inside. After failing to calm her down again, Victoria is knocked unconscious after Ashley hits her face with a hammer. Spencer arrives and tries to kill Ashley, but she manages to knock him away, giving her time to escape. Ashley hides behind a car, and while Spencer is distracted looking for her, she attacks him. Ashley manages to knock Spencer down. She grips him by the neck and forcefully presses him against the concrete multiple times, finishing him the same way Spencer has been killing her past incarnations. The police arrive shortly, witnessing Ashley in the act, and immediately arrest her. When Victoria regains consciousness, she goes outside and sees Spencer dead on the ground and grieves for him. Despite all her attempts to satisfy her son's murderous tendencies, he ends up dying himself at the hands of the girl he has been finishing over and over. Later, Victoria destroys all evidence of cloning Ashley and her attempt at rehabilitating her son. During a call, Parker tells Victoria that Spencer has been broken since he was a kid and that she should let him go. Victoria breaks her communication device, effectively cutting off her ex-husband for good. Victoria re-watches the video of her young son happily playing with his dog, putting a smile on her face as she reminisces. He appeared completely different from the boy who once pushed a girl to her demise, a stark contrast to the man he eventually became. Then, from her cloning machine in the lab, a young man rises. Spencer's clone. Whether it's the first clone she made of his son, we will never know. Do you think that was the first clone of Spencer, or has she been doing this for a while? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next recap.